so at the end of this lesson you will be able to prepare, cook and present wheaten bread for service. The first thing you do before you start preparing is to ensure that your area is nice and clean and tidy to ensure food safety. Firstly then we need to melt some butter and brush the base and the sides of our tin liberally with butter. This prevents the bread from sticking. Just to reinforce that, to ensure it doesn't stick, I'm just going to put a dessert spoon of wholemeal flour in here, just up the sides of the tin as well. Just coating it so that the bread has a nice crispy, crusty on the outside when it's done. And just tap that out the excess, and this is how it should look. So next we have our wheaten flour and our plain flour together. We're just going to sieve that. To incorporate some air into your scone, making it nice and light. Using the whole wheat as well. As well as that, we need to sieve in our bread soda, or bicarbonate of soda is another name for it, and that's a raising agent within the bread. Just cleaning as we go to ensure that the food around has been safe. Then we add our butter, diced butter, because it makes it much easier then to rub it in. Using your fingertips, raising your mix above the bowl in order to incorporate more air again. So we want this to resemble breadcrumbs so that the butter is evenly dispersed throughout the flour. This is what we call the rubbing in method that we use for pastry as well. You can use a mixer with a spade attachment at this stage to disperse your butter if you don't feel that you want to rub it in. But I feel that maybe some people don't have a mixer at home. Don't have that luxury. Beginning to resemble what we were looking for. Nicely dispersed butter. So I'm just going to wash my hands 2 seconds. It's very important at this stage. How it resembles. The next thing we need is our 1/4 teaspoon of salt, which gives a nice savoury flavour. As well as we need some sugar, some brown sugar, to give that treacle flavour. To add a wee bit of variety to your bread. actually that I have here, so we need to break it up a wee tiny bit. For some reason it's stuck together. I want lumps of sugar in our bread. Last but not least is your buttermilk. Because we use bicarbonate of soda, that's why we use buttermilk. And we pour about 3/4 of your pint in, and we'll see how it goes, because for some reason, depending on your flour, sometimes we don't need all of the liquid. And you can always add, but you can't take away, as it's saying as well in baking. Sufficient liquid in there. This is how it should look. It's quite sticky, but we're not going to handle it anyway. It's going directly into the tin. Like so. We just level it off. And just get a wee vegetable knife. Place it under your flour to dry it off. And then we'll just do an incision in the centre, because we want the bread to rise up and out, rather than, if we don't put the incision, then the bread will rise up to the left or up to the right, and then there'll be cracks in the bread, and when you're cutting it, it'll fall apart. So just to finish it off, we're going to put a wee sprinkle of whole wheat flour on the surface to give a nice crispy crust. And finally, we bake this in an oven at 180 degrees for 45 minutes. And in order to test it, this is one I prepared earlier. How we test that it's baked is that we place an incision knife or a fork into the centre of the bread and bring it out. And if it's nice and clean like that, then the bread is cooked. And it should take 45 minutes at 180 degrees. So good luck in your baking. As I say, this is a standardised recipe, which means that if I produce this bread, or if you produce the bread, it should turn out the same. So it'll be interesting to see what the end products will be like. Thank you.